Hi everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we have Ninja Dragon Ryu's Battle, which retails for $44.99 with 347 pieces. And there is good about this set, then there isn't good about this set. But let's get into it. So getting into the main build of Ryu, I'm just going to address the elephant in the room. It's the face. Yeah, that's the biggest fault with the set, it is the face. I mean, look at this thing. That's Ryu's head. Now that's an extra jaw. It just doesn't work. They needed to do a new mold or figure out some sort of way. I know they wanted the play feature of having a weapon in his mouth, but it doesn't work with this head, which is really unfortunate because I think the rest of the build of Ryu is pretty good. I have my draws with it, but I mean, this just doesn't work. I hope if we get a bigger Ryu next year, because we seemingly have been getting a big one each year, they give him a new head or something. But anyways, getting to the rest of the figure, head is on a ball joint. You've got the jaw, second jaw, on just some hinges there, and then as well on some hinges is his neck. All of that, very nice, very simple, but it looks good. He's got the same wings he had last year with the Combiner Mech version, and then just in general what a bunch of the dragons used last year. I think these work really well. They are a little bit too big, but it feels right with this Ryu size. It didn't feel so right last year, but I think it works much better here. You can move these back, all the way back, and fold them in, so you can really make Ryu much slimmer than he ever was before. Well, than any dragon with these wings, which I really like. It really helps with display. They can bring him out and then flap him up and down. They're just really good wings. Going into the legs, they're just connected on ball joints, which does mean they are a bit flimsy sometimes, especially when you're messing around with the wings, which can be annoying. It's one of my personal dislikes with Lego sets, especially the dragons and mechs, is when it is just entirely ball joints. It just doesn't work for me. But the actual leg itself is built really nicely. I love the design of it. The gold plating is armor, and then the feet, which also double as hands, which I'll get into later. And then we've also got these new translucent, pearlescent pieces, which look really nice on the camera. But I mean, I've always really loved these pieces every time we get them. We rarely get them in NINJAGO, so it's great to see here. They just feel out of place. Like, I feel like, just as an example, they could have gone like there on Ryu's body, so it would have felt more natural to be on him than just sticking out the the insides of his knees, realistically. The one on his tail works really well. Speaking of the tail, you got a shuriken on the back which can spin, which again we'll go over a bit later, so I'll take that off as well. You've got the tail and just some ball joints, so you've got full 360 motion with those. And then you've got the main body of the tail on ratchet joints, so that just goes up and down. And then you've got the back legs, which are very small, very simple, and you probably won't ever move them from this pose unless you're trying to get Ryu to stand a little bit higher. This is one of the reasons why I hate these dragons. They don't sit still sometimes. The main body of Ryu is actually really cool. The building into it is very unique, something I haven't really seen with NINJAGO too much. I love the use of these pieces again on his body, as that's what he had in 2024. Yeah, 2024, damn. But yeah, looks very good. I do like the rest of the build. If you just do that, perfect dragon. Almost perfect. I do have my gripes with it, but it's nothing too major. Anyways, let's get on to specifically the weapons and some cool stuff you can do with them. So, Ryu comes with two weapons. He comes with the sword and the shuriken. Obviously, the shuriken just gets attached to the back. There's not really anywhere else you can put this, unfortunately. However, there's a special thing we can do with this, which I will show in just a moment. The other thing is obviously the sword. So for the sword, Ryu can either hold it in his mouth, just like that, so he can swing it from side to side. The other thing he can do is hold it in his hand, so he can use his front leg as more of a actual hand to slice at enemies. And then the final proper spot made for it specifically is you can put it right here on the side or the other side, and then he's got it holstered just like how the other ninja can put their swords on their back. And then if you really want to have fun, you can also just put it on the end and have him swinging it around on his tail, just like that. However, these aren't the only weapons compatible with Ryu. I didn't show this in my other review because I did not have Ryu yet, but the Cole Golem form or Mission Mag is compatible. So Cole can also use these same weapons just like Ryu can. However, well, not however, Ryu can also use the weapons Cole has. So Cole has this bow staff, which you can put on the back, just like so. Get a better angle of that. Spin it just like that. Or you can also have Ryu hold it. So he's like a master dragon or something, which is really fun. I really like that. I always love when Lego sets do this. Cole also has 2 more weapons. Cole also gets a sword, so Ryu can hold that in his mouth, just the same. Or, again, can put it on the back. I'm not even going to bother with that one. I'm just going to take this out because it's getting in the way. Or Ryu can store this one on the side and then hold the other one in his hand. And then, or that one in his... Now, I'm going to kit Ryu out real quick. Ryu can hold that one there. You can put that on his back. You can put the staff in one hand. And then, the best feature, Ryu can pack heat. Cole's Golem form comes with a little blaster. And because it's all compatible, Ryu is now... Ooh, I just shot myself with that. Ow. Ryu has now become the ultimate Spinjitzu master, but with weapons. The ultimate weapon master. I love this. This is my first time actually doing it, fully kitting out Ryu. And it's so funny. It is really hard to pose him, because he's got no front legs, essentially, anymore. So, keeping one to the side, like that, that's probably the best you're going to display of him, which is just really funny. I really love that. But yeah, those are the weapons. Because they're really easy to make, all you really need is a single pin connection. You can easily just do the exact same thing and make your own weapons for not only the Cole mech, but also Ryu, and obviously vice versa. But yeah, I mean, that is such a fun play feature. It's annoying that you have to buy 2 sets for it, but because each set feels complete with their weapons, it's just a nice bonus, I think. It's not like you're going out of your way because the set's incomplete to buy the other set for weapons. No, it's just a little feature that you can do to combine them, which is really nice. Our first figure is the Loyalist, which is a very interesting figure. They aren't the Loyalist leader. They're just like the underling of the Loyalist, but they're not like the monsters, which are also the underlings of the... Very confusing, but they're just the generic Loyalist. They come with this really cool weapon. It's just a giant staff, but it has the Darksaber piece on the end, which it's just really cool to see that used outside of Star Wars, because it hasn't been used outside of Star Wars, and hell, it's rarely being used in Star Wars because we're not getting many Darksabers right now. But yeah, very cool figure. Uses the same printing as the Loyalist leader on the robes. So I'll just finish this and then a slight spoiler just to talk about it a bit more. The face print is a double-sided face. Very, very simple face, but it is nice. You got an angry expression and a slightly happy expression, but like, you know, evil happy. But yeah, Something special about the robes. So, slight spoiler, if you haven't seen season 4, especially as of right now because it's not out yet, the loyalists are supposedly loyal to Imperium. So they've got the gold and the black and the dark red of the Imperium designs, which you can really tell once you've seen it. And it's just really cool to see. But yeah, very simple figure. This is the cheapest way to get them, I believe, which is really nice. But yeah, overall, decent figure. Our next figure is the mutation monster. So in this wave of sets, we have 3 different types of monsters. This is the 3rd type. Technically exclusive to the set for the extra back piece that he gets. However, also comes in a quick and easy $10 spinner. It is a very cool monster design. I love the design of the torso. It feels just like grotesque, but like the good kind of grotesque. He's holding the pendant that all the elemental monsters have in just some spikes. They look like teeth almost. And yeah, I love the tattered robes down at the bottom, especially. The head is the Thanos head, but obviously used on just a regular figure. I think it looks amazing for the head and the tusks on it. And then they use just the straw hat piece that came out last year for Dragons Rising, I think. That was at least the first time I'd probably seen it. And then the Wolverine claws in green, which have been used in green a lot for foliage, but haven't been used as Wolverine as like the claws ever in green. So it's really cool to see them like that. And then obviously the back piece uses the I believe it's the Outrider back piece, but obviously uses it for these tendrils on the back, which look really cool. And I really love the look of them. It looks like, you know, not grotesque in this sense, but because this is the corrupted element of life, it looks like it's mutated life, essentially, because, you know, mutation. And then the other thing to address about this figure is this arm right here is trans green, which is just really cool. I wish there was some more trans green on him, similar to how the villains from the Ice chapter had a lot of like trans blue with them. But yeah, very cool figure. Probably the weakest out of the elemental monsters, but that is just because he comes only in 2 sets, so feels very lackluster compared to the others, and one of those sets is a spinner, so it's just kind of sad. This is like the only full version of him we get. But yeah, amazing figure, and really glad we got him in a slightly cheaper set. Our next figure is Aaron, who got a new suit for this wave. Seemingly Aaron gets a suit every first half of the year, and Sora's getting one every second half of the year. And I'm just happy Aaron got a new suit because he's out of his dark phase that he was in. So it's a very cool design. He uses a lot more dark blue than any of his other versions. As you can see on the torso, there's a dark blue and dark orange dragon, which both are really cool. And supposedly the dark blue represents Ryu, which is just cool to see in the set with Ryu. And he uses more dark blue on this than ever before. He uses the Dragons Rising Season 1 hood and armor. He just uses Sora's one and then his regular helmet piece, not recolored, which would have been cool to see in dark blue, possibly, if they were going to do that full route. So it's probably going to look weird in the show when this bottom half is blue and then he pulls up his hood and it goes yellow. But yeah, I mean, not too much to talk about Aaron. He's obviously got his initial at the bottom, and then on the back you've also got his logo / initial on the back with it spelling out Aaron at the back as well, and I think that looks great. This is definitely a really good figure, very good Aaron suit. Not my favorite. I think the dark suit is just cool, the coolest. But yeah, overall really cool figure, and this is the cheapest way to get him, so glad he comes in the set with his best buddy at least. And our final figure of the set is Draconis Form Nia. This is such an amazing figure. I really love Nia's design. All the ninja have these sort of similar scale designs on their front. However, they each slightly represent their elemental power. Nia, you can kind of see it's wavy. I think the best case for this is definitely Zane's and Jay's. but you'll have to go into those reviews to see them, unfortunately. She uses the draconian wings and this brand new tail rubberized piece as in medium azure, and both of them are amazing. The tail really helps keeping the figure stand, and you can knock them around like that and they'll still stand up. And then they use a new face mask, which is this dual molded piece. So Nia's is medium azure and gunmetal gray, and I think the gray really works for Nia because it feels dragon like, you know. I think Kai is the only other one that works like that, just because it's a darker color. It feels like scales, but yeah, it looks amazing. And then the head is the dragon's rising head, and supposedly in the show they will be using these faces whilst they're in dragon form or draconis form, and that's really cool. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about Nia. So that was my review of Ninja Dragon Ryu's battle. That is kind of a mouthful to say. It's just the new Ryu set of the year, and I'm really happy that we're getting new Ryu sets. Definitely deserve getting these Ryu sets. But yeah, for $44.99, not quite worth it. I mean, the rest of the build apart from the head is like amazing. I wish there was another figure in here. Just something would have been nice for $45. But yeah, I mean, if you find this on sale, pretty perfect set if you don't mind the face. Obviously this is Lego, you can customize it, but I know a lot of people like to be purists, especially when it comes to the builds, especially for a character like Ryu, which, you know, it's just, you wish it was perfect. If this was any other dragon, I think it wouldn't matter. But it's because it is Ryu, it just kind of hurts to see a terrible face for him. So yeah, I mean, that's really all I have to say about Ryu. Pretty decent set, just not a good price, and the head really annoys me, and also ball joints are just like my least favorite thing for mechs and dragons of this scale. But yeah, I mean, that's really all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.